Hello and welcome to today's session. Today's session is based on Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. In my previous video, I have discussed about child labor, the various causative factors and the consequences. There I have also mentioned about legislations and social policies based on child labor. I focused my full attention to reflect the existing act during colonial phase and after independence. In today's session, we'll try to know Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. Though the act is very vast, so in today's session, I will try to cover as much as possible. So without wasting time, I will just go to the session in depth. Introduction. There are a number of acts which prohibit the employment of children below 14 years and 15 years. However, there is no procedure laid down in any law for deciding in which employments, occupations, or processes the employment of children should be banned. There is also no law to regulate the working conditions of children. The Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Bill intends to ban the employment of children, that is, those who have not completed their 14th year, in specified occupations and processes. Regulate the conditions of work of children in employments where they are not prohibited from working. Lay down enhanced penalties for employment of children in violation of the provisions of this act. The Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Bill 1986, having been passed by both the Houses of Parliament, received the assent of the President on 23rd December 1986. It came on the statute book as the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986, Act number 61 of 1986. In Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986, we have to tell four parts. Part 1 deals with preliminary sections of the Act, mainly having two sections. That is Section 1, short title, extent and commencement. This Act may be called the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986, and this Act extends to whole of India. All over India, the rules, the guiding principles are acceptable. Section 2 deals with the definition. In most of the legislations, Section 2 deals with definitions. Act definitions used to provide us the exact meaning of the key terms that we are frequently using while describing an act. The Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986 also laid the Section 2 for definitions of the key terminologies. Under the definitions, the Act mentions appropriate government, which refers here central government, state governments, authorities of railways, port, mine, oil field, etc. Next is child, which means a person who has not completed his 14th years of age. Next is day, means a period of 24 hours beginning at midnight. Establishment refers here any commercial establishment, farms, workshop, hotel and restaurants, shops, or any other place of public amusement. Family refers here the individual, the husband or wife and their children, and brothers and sisters of such individual. Occupier means the person who has the ultimate control over his or her establishment. Port authority refers the administrative authority of the port. Week means 7 days beginning at midnight on Saturday or subjected to describe by any labor inspector of particular geographical location. Part 2 deals with prohibition of employment of children in certain occupations and processes. Part 2 gives us the prohibition guidelines, that where the child are not supposed to work and in what process they should not be involved in. Under Part 2, Section 3 deals with prohibition of employment of children in certain occupations and processes. The Act mentioned about several zones where a child is not accepted to work. Part A of this Act deals with these prohibited occupational zones. Some of the prohibited occupational places are transport of passengers and goods, any work in railway station such as cleaning, building construction, catering, construction of railway station and tracks, etc., port areas, inflammable and firecracking industries, automobile workshops and garages, handloom industry, mines, plastic and fiberglass workshop, etc. Section 3 also stated the process. Process referred here the patterns of work carried out in connection with the authorities concerned. The Section 3 prohibits certain processes for the person under the age of 14 years. Part B of this Act highlighted the prohibited processes. They gave detailed list, and few of these processes include beedi making, carpet weaving, cement manufacture, cloth printing, dyeing and weaving, soap manufacture, mica cutting, wool cleaning, building construction, inclusive of railways, making and packing of slate pencils, manufacture of toxic substances, hazardous work described in Factories and Mines Act, jute textile, lock making, paper making, oil refinery, utensils making, rack making, etc. There are several. If you go through part B, you can see number of items. Then section 4. Section 4 deals with power to amend the schedule. The central government has given power to amend the schedule by notifying in the official gazette, not having more than 3 months prior information. They can add any occupation and processes in Part A and in Part B of the schedule subjected with amendment. Part 2, Section 5, Child Labor Technical Advisory Committee. This is very important. This Section 5 is very important. Why? Here the central government is making a technical committee to look into this matter. I will just state Section 5 over here. The central government may, by notification in the official gazette, constitute an advisory committee, that is Child Labor Technical Advisory Committee. That advisory committee is very important because they will look into the matter of a particular geographical location and then they will report the government. The committee will provide a written record to the government for decision making. So this is very important. Then they mention that the committee shall consist of a chairman and such other members not exceeding 10, as may be appointed by the central government. All are selected by central government only. The committee shall meet as often and have power to regulate its own procedure. They have certain powers. The committee may constitute one or more subcommittees. By seeing the condition of a particular zone, the committee may decide to form another subcommittee with their advice to see the conditions of industries, factories or other establishments. So in this way the committees are working. So today what we have learned part 1 and part 2. In part 1 we have found 2 sections, section 1 and section 2. Section 2 deals with definitions. Then in part 2 we found 3 sections, that is section 3, section 4 and section 5. And here section 5 is very important because it deals with the advisory committee. Though the act is very vast, so I will break this act in several parts by which you will learn in depth of this. I hope in today's session you learned about the concepts of child labor and part 1 and part 2. Apart from part 1 and part 2, then part 3 will come, part 4 will come. Apart from that, they have discussed part A and part B. In part A, they discussed about the occupations, and in part B, they discussed about the processes. So this part A and part B is also very important for us to know. And our main motive while reading this act, the welfare provisions. And in my next video, I will let you know the welfare provisions of Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act. With that note, I will conclude today's session. Will be continued in next session. Thank you.